Hello, welcome to the Beauty Dharma Summit. I am Leslie Kristen, and I am here introducing you to yet another amazing speaker and fabulous Dr. Brooke Stuart. She is, I mean, she's become a friend of mine now. She is just, you see all these diplomas behind her, all of her credentials. I mean, it's just, she is the living light. And what she's going to share with you is like, she is true blue, the true deal. So I'm going to share a little bit um, about who Brooke is. And let me see here. I'm going to grab some of this information. So she has a very extensive bio, but I'm just going to share a little bit about it because she's going to actually share with us something brand new that she's working on. And I didn't even know this. So we're really excited. So Dr. Brooke Stuart, she is the founder and active president of Let Go and Grow International, as well as a holistic doctor in private practice right here in Maitland, Florida, in Orlando, Central Florida area, where she specializes in taking a holistic approach to mental health and high performance through a unique combination of holistic counseling and functional medicine. So welcome, Brooke. Thank you so much for being here at the Beauty Dharma Summit. And I have a little question for you. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Yay. Good. So share with me, what does beauty mean to you?
So, beauty was defined by one of my mentors to me at one point in time. Of beautiful means full of being. And I have found that that's my favorite definition of beauty that I've ever heard, and that's what it truly means to me, because I think if people can begin to tap in to being, like, not just the awareness of and recognition of, but into that experience of being who, what, and where they truly are, and by really beginning to embody what they know is true, I find that that's like nothing short of beautiful, and more beautiful than anything could ever be.
Yeah. Wow. Full of being.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. And that is so true. Every single speaker has had this really common thread, and I have to say that all of them start off with, the concept of beauty being
Yep.
being actually.
Yep.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
um Not so much all of this other stuff on the outside and whatnot. So that's really fantastic. I love that. Thank you.
Sure.
um so the next question is, when did you discover your beauty?
I think when you asked me that at first, I was kind of thinking of a variety of answers and where it could go. But I think the truth is that, and I see this with actually a lot of my patients, I think that as you are a little girl growing up, moving through adolescence into becoming a woman, into being a woman, it's like, I think that it's a continual discovery, but it's almost like we can be afraid of being beautiful. I know I
Mhm.
was, like, growing up, I was afraid of being beautiful. And so you have this a whole variety of symptoms that can arise to defend you against, like, certain glances or certain experiences. So maybe you actually kind of like appendage and place kind of coping mechanisms or imagery between you and just being who you truly are, which is beautiful, and which is healthy, and which does reflect that appearance that's inbuilt and reflective of your true nature. So I think that actually that has probably been one of the biggest struggles of my life, is to just even acknowledge that I am beautiful, um, and that that's okay, and that and that doesn't necessarily always mean appearance, but if it did, like, that's okay too. Like,
Yes.
that's okay too. Like, I mean, Leslie, I am not kidding. I went into my 20s in Florida. This is literally crazy. I have pictures to prove it. Wearing like all black jeans and turtlenecks, like, and long sleeves. And I literally look like how I look right now, but I don't feel bound to this attire now. I just like it. And maybe I liked it then too. But I really do think that there was like this weird thing of like a defense mechanism, you know? So I think when did I begin? The question is, when did I begin to feel beautiful,
When did
right?
you discover your beauty? Yeah.
Discover my
Yeah.
beauty. You know, I think that can come in so many forms, like gifts, talents, all kinds of things. But I think for me, it's been a continual discovering and a continual allowing myself to express myself from that space, and just beginning to kind of like, it's a continual thing. I feel like I don't think that there's necessarily one moment, but I think there's been a lot of unlayering and realizations that have taken place that have allowed me to even go there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so with you. I remember, it owning like this whole being a woman and being sexy was not a natural thing to me. Like
Mhm.
it's just some girls are just like boom, they just have it. And for me, like I can paint that on you and I can rock your look. But for me, like owning that, and it's so funny because especially remember, in the 70s and 80s, like, that it was all about like when I moved from Europe here, you know, Farrah Fawcett, like big hair. My hair was like super short.
Mhm.
I remember girls like they wouldn't even go swimming because they didn't want to mess up their hair. And I thought that is crazy. I spent my whole life at the beach. So I completely know what you're saying, and to grow into that too. Oh, so fun.
It's amazing to see the things that, and especially if you're in a childhood home where you feel unsafe on any level, it's amazing to see what my patients that are decades and decades into their lives, 40s, 50s, 30s, it's like maybe we have skin disorders or acne, or maybe we put on weight to defend on some level, against the quote unquote external environment. And so
Right.
I think it's a deep conversation, and I think allowing yourself to even acknowledge that you are beautiful is takes courage in and of itself, you know?
Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah, you really hit a lot right there. Having worked with so many women, and then you can get into, I mean, there's just so many things. And we're not even talking about like having, health issues, whether it's cancer and I mean, gosh, I've had clients that have had vitiligo or alopecia, or just all of these different things that they affect you, or if you have massive psoriasis and all of that. So it really does hinder probably your being able to just fully embrace what your beauty's about.
And it
um
almost gives you the opportunity to really acknowledge and embrace like your true beauty, like not just the way the world sees it. So the world will obviously, as you know, like see it as like appearance, or what you have, or what your home looks like, or how long your hair is, or how short it is, or whatever is in on trend in that moment in time. Like that's what the world may see as beautiful. But literally, when you start to have these health issues, or when things are fluctuating externally, like maybe, you have a wrinkle or something, it really allows you you almost have to go within to recognize that who, what, and where you truly are in terms of what you are is
right.
beautiful, not for anything external, but for who you actually truly are versus what you're not. And I think that that is one of the the coolest things that can change. But within that, you tap into more of who you are. And so it begins to reflect from a very kind of like reverse engineered space.
I call it peeling the onion.
Yes, I know. It literally is. I mean, it is. It is.
On so many levels, actually. What do we do when you come in and get a facial? We're basically like taking off some of those dead skin cells
Yep.
to have that beautiful fresh skin, right?
Yep.
Just kind of like show through. And so what you do. So I would love to know, Brooke, a little bit more. You kind of mentioned in your bio that you had to deal with ADHD and different things like that growing up, and what made you so passionate about what you do now?
Absolutely. So growing up, I had all kinds of health issues going on. And it's not that I don't believe in conventional medicine. I think it's fantastic. I refer out all of the time. I work with conventional doctors. It's just that for me, with what I was struggling with, it was never the answer. And so I never thought I would be in the medical field. I always thought medicine was sterile, cold, somewhat judgmental, and just not for me. It never worked for me. And so when I started to come across alternative forms of medicine in this medical anthropology class, I thought, oh my gosh, actually, it's funny, but I literally thought to myself, medicine could be beautiful. I'm like, medicine could actually be beautiful, and it could actually work for me in a way that my quality of life was improving at the same time. And so I went on this journey of true self-discovery, of really taking off by making changes in my mindset, diet, lifestyle, taking certain supplements, and really using specific therapeutic intervention. I was able to get off of like 5 to 6 to 7 medications that we're all now looking back. I understand how, like, one medication may have a side effect, which is really a direct effect if you understand the system. And so if we, are able to begin to put in other intervention that builds resilience, it's almost like because you're expanding and because your body and your mind and your system as a whole is getting what it truly wants, it almost unhooks. You just don't have a need for ADHD medication because you have the energy to actually focus. You're taking, you're taking care of yourself. Your system feels safe. You don't need to be on these are the medications I was on. So I didn't need to be on allergy medications because I no longer had allergies. I didn't feel anxious anymore. So I no longer struggled with anxiety. I didn't need to be on literally 3 to 4 medications for my skin because I didn't have acne. There were all of these things that I had struggled with for so long that were really leaving me feeling very dependent on a system that just was not working. But I was so persistent and determined to figure it out. I was willing to do anything to figure it out. So I would try the newest medications, be on trials, all kinds of things, because within me, I felt like I know that it's possible to heal. I just don't know where that is, but I'm not going to stop until I find it. And needless to say, I found it in a completely random way in this medical anthropology class, and through trial and error. I mean, I just got off of one medication, another, and my family, I was very lucky in that my family wasn't a sort of family that put doctors on pedestals. So it was like, I mean, we liked the doctor. They were great. They were cool. Maybe they're our neighbors or something, but it was just more along the lines of like, we had never been like, oh, all hail doctor. It was just like, okay, you go to the doctor and then you get the medication and you try it out, you see if it works. And when it doesn't, that's actually weirdly, this is what blows my mind. In medicine, if something doesn't work, that's normal. And that's what we expect. And we think, oh, I tried. Like I gave it my best shot. Like I put in my best effort. But then we're left with all the same symptoms. Whereas like if a car did not start, we would literally think it doesn't start. I need to get it to start, and I need to get something intervention that actually works to get it starting. So we would be thinking in a different way. Whereas when medicine doesn't work, it's okay. Whereas like if anything else in our lives don't work, it's really like not okay. And so I started to realize like, oh, wow, there's this glass ceiling to conventional medicine of where you can go, what you can do with it. Whereas with the other forms of medicine, there's not a glass ceiling. You can literally roll with it. You can keep healing, keep unlayering layers of the onion and go deeper and have it be a continual conversation and journey into health and well-being, where you just keep feeling better and better and better the more you discover and realize, and also the more you apply that knowledge and those basic fundamentals moving forward. So I found all of this extraordinarily interesting to the point where I made it my career. And aside from the personal benefits, I was really, really like not understanding how there wasn't a website or a way that people could find out options and choices at their fingertips. And I wanted to, I'm like, how do people not know that like taking out gluten and dairy would maybe a good first place to start when you have a skin disorder? Or like, how do people not know that it's easy to sleep at night? Why do they think insomnia is normal? Like, why is that? Like, why is that a thing? Why do people think it's normal to be constipated and just like literally just kind of like shove it under the rug? Like, I'll just have to deal with this for the rest of my life. I was like, these are pivotal signs that disease is forming. And they're also very easy overall. I'm not saying with everyone, I don't know each person's situation, but in my patient population, these things can be changed within the course of a day. I mean, 2 days, 3 days, a week, like not, but now somebody is literally detoxing every day if it's a digestive issue. Now, literally they're sleeping, so they have a third of their life back. A third of their life they never thought they would have back. They thought that they would literally have sleep issues for the rest of their lives. But these are building blocks to health and to and obviously in this case we're talking about beauty, but how do you expect for your skin to regenerate, for your hair to grow, for you to be able to be you when health is such a distraction and is working against you rather than for you? How do you expect to allow yourself to be yourself when you're so feeling powerless, dependent, and when you have all of this energy, all of these resources, and it's going into futile endeavors, not working? You're not clicked into a track that actually works, that actually gets you moving forward. But because we're not enculturated and programmed to see this other side, we don't even know it exists until we begin to learn that it exists, and then have the courage to give it a whirl and the openness to try it on. And then when we like it, it's like we're interested and we're like, okay, this might be something that could really work for me, or that I could incorporate into the plan that I choose for myself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Everything that you have said is so true. And I see, especially when when you see clients that come in to, for example, for skincare treatments and things like that, of course, we have to look over their, what to make sure there's no contraindications and things like that. But you just see younger and younger, so many kids that are on so many different types of medications. And that is like, that's the first go-to place, instead of, like you're saying, really looking at the quality of your life and long-term agenda too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's so important. So share a little bit about this program that you're starting. Is it something that people, because I know nothing about it, so is it something like, if somebody was having some of these kind of issues, would that be a great place for them to start? Or share about this? Yeah.
In my private practice, and I literally have been seeing patients for about 6 years now in private practice professionally, but I've always been interested in like sharing it with more people. And I have a lot of people that would rather do it themselves, would rather give it a try in a program format. And so we created this mind body reset for people to be able to engage these changes, establish a new baseline, and really build a proper foundation for health. This reset is the same reset I take all of my patients through.
Okay.
literally in the course of the first, week to 8 weeks that we're working together, but it's also the material and the fundamentals that we go back to throughout our work together. So the reset that I created on Let Go and Grow, which is basically this organization that I built to be able to share options with people and solutions. And then we also have our own programs on there. We have 2 programs. One is the Mind Body Reset, and one is the Foundations program, which we're revamping. But the Mind Body Reset, I'm in love with because it actually takes these symptoms and these thoughts that we're having out of our heads, and it allows us to apply these simple, easy to implement changes to experience the change that we know we deserve and that we know is possible. And so it removes the distraction, it lessens the noise, it clears the slate, it allows us to just establish simply a new baseline for our health and well-being, and then tailor it accordingly, integrate it, and make it our own as we move forward.
Wow. And how long is this program?
This program is specifically, it's a 28-day reset, but there's prep work for it. And there's also material that's beyond the reset. So the way I describe it is I really see it as I am walking with each reset participant every step of the way. And then and then my intention with it is that they feel so empowered to understand their symptoms, to understand their bodies, what they can do, that even after the reset, they could actually re-engage in the reset and focus on different elements, or they could literally begin to reintroduce like the things, the other aspects of their life that we eliminated during that reset, and see the balance, find the balance. But they have so much awareness as to what works and what doesn't and why at that point, that they can continue to integrate for the rest of their lives. So I see this as like it's definitely like a 28-day reset, but I really see it as a comprehensive health education program to begin to like really learn about your mind, body, and how you can take complete command over your power of choice, and basically access that through utilizing diet as kind of like a way to do that, like real life materials, like lifestyle, detoxification, supplementation, to basically bring the system into an experience of health where you're empowered and where you're accessing your power of choice. Because even like Leslie, think about it this way. Like if you go out to a restaurant and you say, I don't eat gluten or dairy, most people fear the reactions of everybody watching them versus putting themselves first. So it takes courage to like say things like this, like, oh, or like to check the menu in advance and be that weird one or whatever. In this reset, like I even walk people through those things of like just leave it. Like if you want to sage your hotel room, you sage that hotel room, and you don't have to explain yourself, rationalize, justify, defend, like literally try it on and see what it's like to sage the hotel room without explaining a word. Like how, like it's kind of funny, but it's like, it's also like, it's so simple. Like just order what you want to order and allow yourself to ask, what do I want to do with this? And then go do it and see what that's like.
Absolutely. And it is about, again, for me, it's looking at the whole concept of beauty dharma. It's the purpose. It's the purpose of why we're doing. If we have a ritual, I sage my house. Heck yeah. I sage a new building before I get in it. I mean, I've been doing that for years.
That's amazing.
I'm one of those crazy ones. I take my crystals out and put them outside in the full moon. Yes, I do.
I love it.
I do. And whether I can prove or not, but I'm a gem girl. I love stones and things, and I'm a very tactile person. I don't like long nails because I like to feel my fingertips, and I've always been like that. And I'm, in a very tactile business. And so it's important to go with what you feel, like you're saying, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going around spritzing in people's faces, and you're doing your ritual, your beauty, whatever that is. So yay.
100%. And even like what's so interesting is even like the energy behind different things. Like if you're putting on your makeup and like you're empowering yourself and you're being creative and like literally going into that with like love, preparing for the day, just being the best version of yourself. I mean, that is so sacred and so different than like over analyzing, mentalizing, hating on yourself, looking at every flaw and believing that that's who you are and that you're doomed to die, right? Like that's totally like a different way, like being like, you know, like embracing like that goddess energy, like I'm the creator of my reality, like choosing to express my creative ability like through this choice. It's so different. And then also like on the flip side, something basic like putting on a colorful like lipstick can be like very difficult for someone who would rather be invisible, you know, like for somebody like that is a spiritual experience in and of itself. So it's always like this both and um I paradigm really. It's not like this either or of like, oh, like appearance versus mental, emotional, spiritual. It's more along the lines of like both have these deep wells of purpose, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You have to, again, you just kind of go through, and I see that, and I love what you were saying before, because when I was creating my skincare line, it is a botanical based line, and I have rituals to it. So for example, like our Magic C serum, there is, and it's funny because I see some people that kind of have a hard time with it. And for me, there, for example, our Magic C serum has citrus essential oils in it. And it has, so for me, what I do is I take a few pumps of that and then I put it on my fingertips and I inhale gratitude, and then I exhale what I want to let go of. And I do that 3 times. And that affects you on so many different levels when you are not only being able to touch your face and give it gratitude, you know, you're already, you know, you're smiling. There is no way that you can put those essential oils and the benefits, the aromatherapy, and inhale that. So you're not only smelling it, you're feeling it, you're getting the benefits, you know, in your skin. And it's a mood elevator. So
Yeah.
when you start your morning with that and you're releasing whatever you need to release, is just bonus for your day, because too many of us start looking at ourselves in the mirror and looking at the cellulite or the wrinkle or this. And I have worked with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of women. And you get to that point where you start looking at those things. Hey, whatever you want to do is fine. But, you know, all I can say is that don't have fillers and Botox be an excuse for you to not dig deeper,
Yeah.
because we have to age if we're not going to die. You know, like
Yep.
it's just not an option.
Yeah.
And to be able, for me, I look at Jane Fonda like my hero. I mean, my God, that woman looks unbelievable. She's as gorgeous as she was when she was younger, right? Now, granted, I'm sure she's had quite a bit done. But and then one of our speakers that we have here, who I have met, is a brand new person in my life and mentor forever now, Alexandra Stoddard. She created the movement of happiness back in the 70s, is an
Wow.
interior designer, and has written 26 books on
Yeah.
happiness.
Wow.
And she just turned 79 years old on Sunday.
Wow.
And and this is her very first virtual summit
That is so cool.
that is in it. Unbelievable. And so when you talk to her, I mean, you don't see anything when it comes to age, because that wisdom that comes through her and her words are just, you know, it's like it's completely on a spiritual conscious level.
Yep.
And
Yep.
when you live in that space or you can evoke that space, you're not looking at anything else because the energy that comes through you is so powerful. I mean,
Yep.
you'll have to watch her interview because
Oh, I will. I will. That's
it is
so
so
cool.
exciting. I'm tearing. I'm talking to the Dalai Lama here, you know?
Yeah, that is so cool. That is
And that,
so cool.
yeah, and she's such a believer in the planet and in healing and natural things and and all of that. And so like you're saying, I mean, you are you're young, and to be able to have the influence over people that can, live and take that path on for years to come is such a huge benefit. And yeah, you're just awesome.
Thank you.
You are.
Thank you.
I always love talking to you.
I know. This is awesome.
Do you want to share something that people could do right away to bring some more beauty into their life?
100%. So, the first prescription I give to each and every one of my patients is something that we've called the heart based practice. And it's simply placing both hands over your heart and feeling your heartbeat. And it's so simple. It's literally what we imbue as a message like this. So, reconnect to your heartbeat, reset by returning home to the present moment. And your
Mhm.
heartbeat naturally allows you to enter into the present moment and just remember who, what, and where you are so you can really enter into that next moment for the better. And I always recommend that my patients start with 3 minutes a day. And I think 3 minutes is more than enough to hold that space for transformation. And I love the idea of 3.01 because it's like, think about it, right? If you're craving something or if you're feeling reflexive and reactive, if you hold space for that to transform for 3 minutes, or let's say you're dreading sending an email or going on a run and you hold space to actually click into those choices for 3 minutes, you're going to find that you end up enjoying writing that email, or it feels like a relief, or the run feels good, or you no longer have that craving, or you no longer feel reflexive and reactive because you've taken that time and that space using the building blocks of reality to actually reflect and to kind of shift your nervous system and to literally physiologically shift your nervous system into a state into from a sympathetic state of fight, flight, or freeze mode where we are reactive and distressed into one that's based on expansion and growth, and it's calm, connected, like a healing mode in that parasympathetic state where we can actually induce that by literally placing our hands over our hearts and being coherent, like allowing for coherence to actually take hold. And there's a lot of research on this. Institute of Heart Math says 2 minutes, that all you need is 2 minutes. I like 3 because it's approachable, it's easy to consume, it's a little bit challenging, but everyone has 3 minutes to where they can literally go within themselves. And I teach this in intro to meditation classes. I teach this at the end of every first session with a patient, but it's free medicine. It's literally something anyone can do. And it's literally, you can actually feel the experience. It's a felt experience that kind of brings you into a new track. So that I think could definitely be worthwhile to kind of give a whirl if people are interested.
Absolutely. Yes. Now, I know that you have a gift for our viewers as well. And for those that may want to work with you or to even experience, I am definitely going to check out your course because that sounds amazing. And especially for my mom. My mom is 91, and
Wow.
I know she suffers a lot with, digestive stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that this would be, and especially the fact that with COVID now, she's, we don't like to go out a whole lot.
Yep.
So
Yep.
wouldn't this be something that would be like really beneficial?
100%. I mean, I think anyone who's looking to kind of get on track with their health, that this could be a really good program to check out, the Mind Body Reset.
Mhm.
I also have, and also like Leslie, for your viewers, I'm definitely going to give you a promo code Beauty Dharma, and that will be $100 off for everyone. So that will be cool. And literally, if anybody has any questions on it, I genuinely want to make sure it's like a right fit. Like people feel good about it. They feel like that's a good choice for them, because we have a lot of free information on our websites as well that I can direct people to. I'll definitely send you a link for the heart-based practice that people can get a free recording of that. And we have like, I think we have close to 100 like talks and videos and everything. So literally, depending on what people are going through, I'm happy to direct. But that mind body reset is something that I couldn't believe more in. I've just seen it change thousands of people's lives and tilt them into a space where they feel clear, confident, they have a plan, and they actually understand their system, so they no longer have to feel controlled by it or to fear it. And I think that even just holding the space for that to be possible is valuable, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, and you were saying that the course is 395. Is that
It's 397, and
97?
but and like literally we've
Talk.
just launched it like today. So I mean literally, which is weird. I didn't even tell you about that
No,
until
I
now.
had no
But
idea.
I literally, well, the thing is I kind of unhooked time and space, because I'm like, I don't want to go for a timeline. I want to know when it's done. So I wasn't really sure when it was going to be done, but it is done. And I couldn't be like more excited to see how people experience it. And in the first 4 months of the program, like I'm going to have designated office hours to take calls, to answer people's questions, because all of the people that are in the 4-month foundations part of the process will literally inform the reset for everyone who goes through it thereafter. And even as like all of my work is very, very continual, I can't stop working on it. So it's one of those things that it will continue to grow as I grow as a practitioner. But right now, I mean, I'm just really excited about it. It really touches on every aspect of health that I teach in my practice, and to bring it into a program, I think is going to be really cool. I mean, even the worksheets, I've never seen anything like them. I created them for my patients, and they bring so much awareness, and they really work. Like it's really, I'm excited to see what people think.
Yay. I'm excited too. So the promo code is Beauty Dharma.
Yeah.
We will put it also in there, and it's letgoandgrow.com/mind body reset. But
Yeah.
you can go to Dr. Brooke Stuart, Stuart, Dr. Stewart, and I can't wait to check it out. It sounds phenomenal. I mean, I know what it's like to work on something for years and years and years, and then you're putting it into a program. So it's like it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like giving birth, you know.
It's almost like this Beauty Dharma Summit. I mean, what a gift to the world at this time, really, like this kind of like ending 2020 on an uplifting note with strength. I mean, I think that that's something we should all be intentional about, because we can be. And really that's the end of the story. Like we can be, so might as well, you know?
Yeah. That is what it's about. It's about, bringing everybody together and helping elevate the planet and our awareness, and like you said, just being. So thank you,
Definitely.
Brooke. You are always such a joy and just a breath of fresh air and knowledge for everyone. And I will definitely, well, our journey continues because we've done several different interviews before, and you are just, you're just a dear and a shining light for all of us. So definitely check out more of Brooke. She's all over the internet. So she's all over the place. I don't even know how you sleep, because you're just like boom, 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 boom. You go, 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 go. Sharing all this awareness. So thank you so much. And thank you for watching. I know that you have probably walked away with more information than you expected. So much goodness in here. And we will see you on the next Beauty Dharma series. Thank you. Bye.